Hello. Well, tonight I'm going to take advantage of a lull in the cold weather and take my buildings outside, a grain elevator, and do some spray painting and with my airbrush. And I still need to do a little bit more prep work here on the silos themselves. I'm going to take some sandpaper and sand this crease out so it's nice and smooth, and I just use progressively finer grit sandpaper to get this smoothed out, and so you can't see the seam anymore. And we'll paint this a concrete color, and these parts here, the gray parts, this would be the, I'm not sure what the proper term for this would be, the shed. Boy, I'm going to paint a gray because you can see the variation in color from the injection molding process. You can see it right there. If I hold it up real close. I don't want to have it a uniform gray color and get rid of the shine too, so I'll be working on that. And since this is attached to this part of the building, I'm going to tape it off, and I've already done that, and I'll tape this off. And then what I'll do to tape the rest of it off is just take some paper and just tape it on, wrap it around so none of the gray paint gets on any other part of the building. So that's how you do that, whether you have an airbrush or whether you just use a paint in a spray can. You probably do pretty much the exact same thing if you were needing to paint something that had already been glued on to a building. So you pretty much use the same way. So I will finish doing my prep work here. Okay, well, I've got this all sanded down nice and smooth, and we can maybe still see a faint line where the plastic meets, but once I get the concrete colored paint over this, that'll disappear. And as you can see from the video, I started with 150 grit and just worked my way down to 600 grit, and to get this all nice and smooth. And so all I need to do now is wipe the dust off, and then I'm going to take some isopropyl alcohol and basically swab all the bottles, all the parts, to remove any residual oils before I spray paint them. So that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, I've got all my paints mixed together that I'm going to use. I'm going to use a flat reefer gray for the gray parts of the building. Get those painted nice, and then for the silos I'm going to use a mixture of old and new concrete. So I got my paints together, and now I'm going to take cotton swabs, cotton balls, and start rubbing down the parts, clean off any oils that may be on there, any dirt, any dust from sanding and building this thing. You want to get these as clean as possible so the paint will adhere to the surface, and taking advantage of some really nice weather to do some painting outside. And I've toyed around with getting a spray booth at some point, either getting one or building one myself. And I've seen a lot of plans, I mean not a lot, a couple of them out there, of people who have built their own spray booths, and a couple of them, the ones I've noticed, they've been using off-the-shelf components like the power switches you can get at your hardware store or Home Supply, or the fans. There's one that was made with a vent from a stove, you know, the fan you get in a stove. And while in theory, sure, that would work, if you're going to do something like that, you probably want to keep a couple things in mind. I remember in high school getting a lecture about our spray room in our workshop, and the teacher went to great pains to explain why that spray room was reasonably safe, and that all electrical components were industrial grade, basically explosion proof components, so designed so that they would not emit any sparks. You flick the switch, it would not give off a spark. You turn on the fan motor wouldn't give off a spark to trigger any explosion. So if you're going to do your own spray booth, you want to keep that in mind. Thus endeth my lecture. So, it's been incredibly nice out today. So, I'm going to take advantage of that. I had thought of working on the track, work on the interchange, but I decided to change my plans and work on this model a little bit more, get this all into shape. Alrighty, I'll go set up operations out there, outside in my garage, and we'll get to do some spray painting. We have some fun here.